Imagine that you are starving. You open up your favorite food delivery app. You scroll for 5 minutes trying to decide between tacos or sushis. Finally, you place your order and then the app freezes. Your payment goes through, but the order disappears. You're frustrated, confused, maybe even a little hungry. That experience from craving to chaos is your journey. And in UX or product design, we map that journey to understand what users go through so we can design smoother, more human experiences. Do you struggle to comprehend industry jargons as an early career UX or product designer? If so, don't worry, you are exactly where you're supposed to be because this series was made for you. I have compiled a full A to Z guide to product design terms to help you understand and also use them confidently in your communication so that you can set clear expectations and show your value as a designer. So far, we've covered letters A through I, and today we are on letter J. And our word for today is, drumroll, journey maps. Journey maps are a common product design tool. They come in different formats, and depending on the context, they can be used in a variety of ways. This video covers the basics, what a journey map is and what it is not, and how we can utilize journey maps. What is a journey map? At its core, a journey map is a visual story of how a user interacts with your product or service over time. Think of it as a storyboard that connects emotions, actions, and touch points. It helps teams see the user's experience not as a series of screens, but as a human journey filled with hopes, frustrations, and decisions. It usually answers, what's the user trying to accomplish? What steps do they need to take? How do they feel along the way? Where do the pain points or gaps occur? This might sound cheesy, but think about it as empathy visualized. Why journey map matters? Here's the thing. Journey maps aren't just for researchers or big design firms. They are one of the most powerful tools for aligning everyone around the real user problem. Imagine a group of people trying to describe an elephant in the dark. One feels the trunk and says, it's a rope. Another touches the side and says, it's a wall. Someone else holds the tusk and insists, it's a spear. Everyone touching the same creature, but the truth is, it's shaped by their point of view. That's what it's like on product teams. Marketing sees conversion issues. Engineering sees bugs. Design sees usability gaps. Everyone is right, but only partially. A journey map turns on the light. It helps teams see the full picture, not just what users do, but how they feel as they move through every step. And that clarity transforms everything. It turns debates into dialogues, silos into alignment, and guesswork into shared empathy. Because when you can visualize both the path and the emotion, you stop designing features and you start designing experiences. Components of a strong journey map. Now, let's talk about what actually makes a good journey map. Think about it as anatomy. Every element plays a role in helping you understand what users go through, what they are thinking, feeling, and doing at each stage. To bring this to life, let's walk through a simple example. Meet Sarah. She's a busy parent trying to order dinner after a long day at work. She's tired. Her kids are hungry. She wants something quick and easy. We're going to map Sarah's journey through a food delivery app, step by step. Persona or user segment. Who is the journey about? Sarah represents many modern users. Busy, time-starved, juggling responsibilities. Her need is, I need dinner on the table fast. It's that simple. Pro tip, give your persona just enough humanity to build empathy. A name, a context, a goal are often enough. Avoid personas so polished that they feel imaginary. Let's talk about phases or stages. What are the key moments? Next, outline Sarah's journey as phases of intent. A simple structure for a food delivery app might look like this. So we go from craving, to searching, to ordering, to waiting, to eating, and then reviewing. Each stage represents a mindset shift. At the craving stage, the question they ask is, what do I feel like eating? For searching, the focus is, which app or restaurant should I pick? While ordering, the question they have in mind is, will it get here on time? While they are waiting, they are thinking to themselves, it's been 40 minutes, where's my food? And when they are eating, they're like, finally, it's worth it. And then they go ahead to review. So at the reviewing stage, the question they're asking themselves is, should I rate this experience or just move on? Seeing these transitions help us to pinpoint where delight happens and where friction creeps in. User goals. What is Sarah trying to achieve? Now let's talk about how to actually create this journey map. The first thing that I'd like you to think about is the user goals. Just continuing from our previous illustration about Sarah, you can ask the question, what is the user trying to achieve? In this case, what is Sarah trying to achieve? At each stage, Sarah has a simple but evolving goal. When craving, she's thinking of satisfying her hunger quickly. When searching, she's trying to find something that is appealing but on a budget. When ordering, she's thinking about, how do I place my order confidently and correctly? While waiting, she's thinking, how can I track my food with reassurance? And when she's eating, she's enjoying a hassle-free meal. And finally, while reviewing, she's reflecting on the experience or trying to earn loyalty rewards. Framing goals this way keeps the map human-centered because users don't care about features, they care about outcomes. Here's a pro tip. Phrase every goal in the user's voice. For example, instead of using complete checkout, you can say, get dinner before my kids lose patience. Once you've identified the user goals, the next thing you need to do is identify actions and touch points. So how and where does it happen? Now, we will map what Sarah does and where those interactions occurs. Across her journey, she moves between different touch points. So for example, she sees the food delivery ad on TikTok. That's where we have awareness. Then she opens up the app and scrolls through restaurants. That's search. And then she adds item to her cart and checks delivery times. That's decision. Then she pays using Apple Pay, for example. That's checkout. Then she tracks her rider in real time. That's waiting. And then she receives her food and eats dinner. That's consumption. And then finally, she gets a push notification asking for a review. That's reflection. Sarah's experience doesn't live in one place. It flows across multiple channels. Your job as a product designer is to connect those dots seamlessly. Next, we need to identify the emotion. How does the user feel at each step? Here's where empathy meets design. Every moment carries emotions. When we map those feelings, we can see what data can't tell us. Sarah's emotional curve might look like this. That emotional curve is the heartbeat of the journey map. It shows us not only what happens, but how it feels. Pro tip: if you see multiple dips in emotion, that's where your design energy belongs. Every emotional valley is an opportunity to build trust or delight. Pinpoints an opportunity. Here you're asking, what's breaking and how can I fix it? This is where observation turns into innovation. Let's find Sarah's moment of friction and then turn them into opportunities. Each pain point reveals a design story, one that shifts from frustration to flow. When you address these, your journey map becomes more than a research artifact. It becomes a strategy tool. So I've said a lot about how we can create the journey map, but here's a mini recap. A strong journey map combines a real persona with context and a goal. So our example, Sarah is a busy parent. It has defined stages that show mindset shifts. It also has goals that focus on what users really want. It has touch points that connect their cross-channel experience, emotions that color their every interaction, pain points and opportunities that guide better design decisions. By following Sarah's story, we have transformed a list of UX terms into a human narrative. That's what journey mapping is all about, turning data into empathy and empathy into better experiences, purpose, and benefits. Journey maps serve several important purposes in product design. 1. Fostering user empathy. They force designers to view the product experience from the user's perspective, promoting empathy and user-centric thinking. 2. Identifying pain points. By mapping out each step of the user's journey, designers can uncover frustration, obstacles, and areas for improvement in the interface and overall experience. 3. Aligning stakeholders. Journey maps create a shared vision of the user experience across teams and stakeholders, facilitating better communication and decision-making. 4. Uncovering opportunities. The process often reveals new design ideas and opportunities to enhance the user experience that may not even be apparent before. And there you have it. We've talked about what journey maps are, how to utilize them, and how to create one. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It helps more designers discover the series. And if you're new here, subscribe so you don't miss the next letter in the A to Z of product design. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.